Hello everyone, my name is Kenny and I'm delighted to be being viewed on Rocket Hub, which I think is a most fantastic thing. Why am I called Kenny? Because I was born in Kenya. How come I was born in Kenya? Because my parents were Jewish refugees from Poland and Romania. I am Jewish, but I don't feel Jewish. I don't know anything about being Jewish, and I've never led a Jewish life or celebrated any of the holidays or anything at all like that. However, at this late stage in my life, I have come to realize that if my parents hadn't been Jewish, they wouldn't have led the lives they did, and therefore I wouldn't be leading the life that I lead. So I am in the process of exploring this issue of identity because it fascinates me. When I grew up in Kenya, the equator was not very far from our farm, and you could stand across this imaginary line and have one foot in each hemisphere. And there used to be a hotel there, and if you were in room 200, you were in the southern hemisphere. And if you were in 201, you were in the northern hemisphere. And as a child, I used to run from one to the other, delirious, thinking, wow, which hemisphere do I belong in? Well, that question seems to have got rooted in my soul. And to explore this issue of identity, not just Jewish identity, but anybody's identity, I decided to make a documentary film based on my parents' lives, because my parents were extraordinary people who had an extraordinary life in Kenya that's worth documenting. But the underlying theme is always this issue of personal identity. Now, a friend of mine joked and said, I should call this film Who Do You Think You Are? Which I think is hilarious. And I thought, well, maybe I'll just call it Chopped Liver. But then I thought that only Americans would understand that, or maybe Romanians. And then I thought some more, and I thought, well, my mother's maiden name was Schönbaum, and that means beautiful tree in German, and she was very beautiful. And we are talking about family trees, so I thought it was appropriate. So my documentary film is called Beautiful Tree, Severed Roots. So ever since I was a child, the issue of personal identity has fascinated me, because my parents came from Eastern Europe, adapted to Africa as though they'd been born there. I was born there. For years I thought I was English. It took me a long time to understand that I'm not English. I'm British, but definitely not English. And today I look upon myself as an Eastern European, white, African, British something that lives in the United States. My real question is, does it matter whether I'm Jewish, not Jewish? What is my personal identity? And how do these questions relate to anybody's personal identity in this day and age where so many people are displaced for political or environmental reasons, or where we can form our allegiances over the internet without regard to geography? We don't have to pledge allegiance to a nation in order to form alliances. So I'm wondering if the internet is going to break down ideas about nationality and nationhood altogether, and that perhaps truly we are on the way to a global society and global citizenship. So with all this internet communication, I'm wondering if we're becoming fragmented in our souls or united in our spirit. I've also always been fascinated by the documents that tell us who we are or who we're supposed to be. And in my family's case, they're beautiful objects in themselves. You'll see them in my film. They're written in many different languages. And I've always wondered whether they tell me who I am. They don't really. And I ask the question, what if you don't have these documents? What if the documents that are supposed to tell you who you are actually fake, and you've been living a lie for decades? What if you never had any documents in the first place? Gail Pellet is a very well-known documentary filmmaker for PBS and Channel 13. She's a dear friend of mine, and she's seen the clips for this film, and this is what she had to say. She said, "They're truly intriguing and exciting and relevant to our brave new world of global rearrangements and hyper-digital times." Well, that's very complimentary, and I certainly hope that you agree once you've seen the clips and you can see the opening sequence of the film right after this little video. I'll tell you a little bit more about the film and why I need money. The film's going to be 70 minutes long. I have 32 minutes edited. I have to go back to Kenya, I have to go to Israel, and I have to go to Poland to complete shooting. And of course, I have all the post-production expenses, all the marketing expenses. So I'm thrilled and excited to be doing this. This is my passion. This is what I love. And I can't wait to be hearing from other people who feel the same way about it. And maybe to meet some of you. That would be the biggest thrill. And maybe we can have a discussion about everyone else's identity. That could be interesting. What's yours? Bye.